Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today we are talking about the energy behind the attitude. What is it like dealing with difficult people in aura color? How can your aura and their aura make a difference in how you communicate? We're going to be looking at listeners' own difficult people problems, and we're going to aura read them and talk about it. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. All right. Well, before we get into that, speaking of difficult auras, or maybe we call them different auras.
I like that.
Not difficult, but different.
Different.
So we are this is the day before we are leaving on a trip for going out west, hitting Yellowstone, which we haven't done. When was the last time we were in Yellowstone? 20 years ago? Yes. So very excited. I always wanted to take the kids to Yellowstone. I've been saying this for years.
You have.
Once they get of age, I'm taking them.
Yes.
We're going to Yellowstone Grand Tetons, which you gave us a little history lesson of the name of, which we did not know, but you could just picture it, Grand Tetons. Okay, that is true. Mystic Michaela, the historian, has told us that's true.
Well, this is a language thing.
Yeah, and then hitting Rocky Mountain National Park. So we're going out west. But anyway, the day before the trip, I think our auras shift a little.
They do.
We won't call them difficult.
No.
But they're different.
Yes.
All right, you want to go?
Oh, you want to go?
I can go.
You want to go?
I got a list.
Yeah. You have a list?
I got a list because I think I become a little yellow. I know you say I never have any other color in my aura.
Right.
But if I did at this moment in time, I would say I do have a little yellow.
Yeah.
Because I do plan the trip.
You do?
All the hotels, the bookings, the airline tickets, everything. I plan all that.
Yes.
And maybe I just have this a little yellow in me.
Yes, today when we had to check in for our flight, 24 hours in advance, we had to check in for Southwest. You had 2 computers up and both our cell phones ready, and you were like, hover the mouse over click and hover your finger over, and on 1, do it now, execute check-in.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay.
Because you got to do it right at that moment, you could save the $10 per ticket for not checking in early.
Yeah.
So
and then we had a question. This is a question we both had as we were doing this. We were like, what do yellows actually do? Do they just pay for the pre-board? What do they do?
Well, okay, so this is, I don't know if anyone's flown Southwest, but Southwest, you get 24 hours. You got to book it in, you don't get a seat until 24 hours in advance.
Yeah.
So if you're on Southwest, what do you do? This is what I think. Because we were pretty quick today, but there's some people that beat me. There were a few people. Abby's ticket got a real good number.
Yeah, she was beaten.
So we're just using hers. But I would say all the yellows are on top of it.
Yeah.
The greens probably have some technology thing that they don't even have to be there. It just happens for them.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Maybe.
The purples are the people you see board the plane last.
They're D.
They're D and C.
D and E.
Yeah, they're the back. They are trying to find that seat. They're getting the middle seat. Yeah. They don't know how this happened to them, but it's happened to them. So I would say
they're like, why'd I get bumped? What?
Yeah. So that's how I would say it would. That's how I say it would go. I don't know.
It's a question we had.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But okay.
But so you're a little yellow.
Right? Okay. I did that, and all the planning. I'm gonna make sure. I had to check to make sure all the hotels reservations are good. Airbnb.
You check all the reviews. Rental. You're big on reviews.
Yeah, I checked everything.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a little more yellow today. I feel yellow. But for you, you're, I think, inauthentic yellow.
Inauthentic yellow. You're more natural yellow, I guess.
Yeah, because you made us get those passports. Let's start with that. You made us get the passports. And my whole thing why I didn't want to get them, go through the whole struggle of getting them, is because I don't think we're going to use them.
Right.
So you told me, we're going to use the passports on this trip.
I'm like, should I bring all our passports?
And I'm like, why? We're going to Denver. There's no need to bring a passport.
Well, now I don't know because I got them. I don't know because now I'm usually the minors don't need ID to fly. Right. But now that I have passports, I'm like, but do they? And I'm scared to leave the house without the passports now that I have them.
Well, we have
It's weird.
That's true.
I'm very attached to my passports. I worked so hard for them.
I guess we could bring. Could you use them? Instead of a license, I guess? Yeah,
but then I'd be afraid not to have my license too. Well, I'll have to have both. And then I'd be afraid of carrying them because what if I left them somewhere? This is the passports have become a stress.
I feel
for me
we've
personally.
never done it with the passport.
No,
and we're only going to Denver.
Right,
it's like a 3-hour flight. I think we're good.
We don't need the passports.
Yeah, so
that's true.
Yeah, we still don't need the passports. And I don't think we are going to need the passports, but maybe we will one day. All right. So that I would say that for you.
Yeah. You were like, well, this is another weirdly thing that you do. I saw you just organizing your closet. Like you took out everything, you were refolding it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, no. See, that's because I have to see what I'm going to take.
Oh.
Because my closet was messy.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what shirts were where. So I had to fold everything.
I'm not saying there's not a reason. I'm just saying that I saw you on the floor of your closet, like sitting there all crisscross applesauce, folding everything, and that's not a sight I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, because I kind of wait till like a trip, because I have to fill my suitcase,
right?
And I have to see what I'm bringing. Yeah,
the deeper striations of the t-shirts,
right? Because I had like a buffalo long sleeve shirt.
Yeah,
and I have that. It was like in the back, like
you
tucked
knew you
away.
wanted that.
No, I forgot I had it.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot I had it. So what I do is I reorganize the entire closet of all the shirts and pants, whatever, shorts and everything. Then I can see what I have.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I can bring that. So that's why I do that.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe that's a little off. Well, what about you and the cats?
I get very stressed about leaving the cats, even though they are in very good care with my across the street neighbor who loves them. I miss them, and I worry that they're going to miss me. And they're not going to have their routine. They have a daily routine that's very paid attention to by me.
This is true. And I'm going to tell you, I just got back from Publix, and I had to buy one item for the cat set for an 89-cent can of food. Now,
well, just in case.
Yeah, because we got the smalls, we got the litter.
Yeah.
I got all these things already. I already checked off litter.
Yeah.
I got it. What's the other thing? The one bag of weird food for one of the cats with the urinary tract problem.
Right.
Check. Got
their
blue
prescription.
Bag.
Their prescription
blue bag food.
Right.
I had everything. Got a treats. Check. Okay. But then there was one. And you're like, Scott. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, there was one can missing.
It's so hard to go away when you have animals because you lay there on vacation and you're just laying there at night and then you're just like looking up at the moon and they're looking at the moon too, and you're just like, I'm sorry I left you, and they don't understand. Yeah. I feel so bad.
And who knows what they do to each other when we're gone.
Oh my God.
Like they do things to each other.
Okay. I don't know what they do.
Unspeakable things. But
well, I mean, I love going on vacations and I'm happy that we're going, but the person I am the day before is really stressful. Well,
the other thing for you, I don't know if you had one more for me, but I got one more for you.
Okay.
This house is spotless.
Oh, yes.
Clean as a whistle.
Thank you. I that's where I'm not purple. Like before I leave for vacation, I always have to clean the house because I cannot handle walking into messy, gross house. I just can't handle it. And I need to walk in and it needs to be clean.
Yeah, I mean, so that you do all the laundry, you do everything. Everything's done. Everything
that's my inauthentic yellow.
That's inauthentic.
That's why I'm all like stressed.
That's why you're
Yeah, this isn't fun for me. This is just something I'm compelled to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything for me, or we're good?
You're good. I think
I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good.
You're good. I think my only thing is before we ever go on vacation, like I think sometimes you act like we're moving or something.
Because
you're like. You pay the bills before we go, which is good because we'll be gone for a little bit. Right. But then sometimes you also, I see you on the phone and you're like renegotiating like an interest rate or like you're like changing something like fundamental. I don't know. You're making doctor's appointments or something. Like you get really into the scheduling, like deep into it.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Like
it's
I said,
fine.
Is there any yellow in my aura right now?
I don't know.
It never comes in.
I think we both just want, when we go away, we just don't want to think about it.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So what I am doing, and you're right, I do like these weird projects before, like I just resodded the lawn.
Oh my God, yeah, you just decided to resod the entire front lawn.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to water it.
Well, this is the rainy season. I'm hoping we get some rain.
I don't rain for the next 7 days.
Yeah. Well, please rain. But yeah, I think that's what it is. Like I try to think of everything so that gets done. Like in that right.
So we can stay present.
Right. Yeah. So you can stay present. Everything's done.
Yes.
So everything's checked off, which is really yellow, I guess. Right?
Maybe we're yellow. That's just who we are.
All right. So I guess our auras become a little difficult.
A little bit.
But the day before a trip.
All right.
All right. So hopefully some of you can relate.
Yes.
Probably not, but all right. All right, we'll take a quick break. We're going to come back with your difficult auras.
When summer rolls around, I really don't feel like being in the kitchen. I want to be outside. I want to have my flexible schedule. I want to do all the things that make summer feel special. And that is where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Do you know that they have 45 weekly menu options? You just pick your gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. You choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. A couple nights ago, I had the salmon and cauliflower grits. It comes to you fresh, heated up in like 2 minutes. It was better than I've had in a restaurant. And that is the truth. It was amazing. I was filled. It was so well made, so well flavored. Makes it easy too to stick to my goals because I'm filling up on food that's good for me, not food that isn't so good for me, but maybe a little quicker because Factor is quick and good for me. Get started at factormeals.com/KYA50 off and use code KYA50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code KYA50 off at factormeals.com/KYA50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/KYA50 off. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
So over on the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family, I've had this thread up for a while, and I've asked members of the Facebook group to put in kind of just an explanation of a difficult relationship they have in their life, and if they have a photo, to add that too. And we did this episode. This is like a part 2, kind of, because we did this episode back, episode 275. It was very popular because I think it's really easier to talk about auras when you talk about a specific context in which they're playing out. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, that makes sense to me. So I picked out some of these that felt really relatable and something that I think a lot of us could be like, oh my gosh, that's happening in my life too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Before I start, I do want to say 2 things.
Okay, go ahead.
One, I think you should read these because they're a little longer.
Okay.
And sometimes I trip up the words.
Poor Scott.
Yeah.
Oh.
Victim blue. There it is. Difficult people. Number 2, I also want to say that the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family is always correct.
They're always right.
So when we do these,
yes,
you're always right.
You're always right.
You're always
We're
right.
taking your side.
Always taking your side.
I think that's funny. I don't know why. All right.
All right, here we go.
First one is Camille. And Camille, girl, everyone just take a collective breath. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Difficult person, right? She writes, OMG, definitely my mom. And I thought like this was, moms, right? Moms. Okay, I'm a mom. We all have one that we understand. Here we go. My mom, a deeply wounded woman who placed her emotional needs onto her purple blue to go kid, now full-blown indigo purple. That's herself. That's Camille. She's indigo purple. I grew up with a deep-rooted fear of her, unpredictable outbursts, quick to anger, no resolution or accountability, and thus became the perfect angel who never rocked the boat. Now hardcore people pleaser, LOL. Our relationships have been particularly strained since I started planning my wedding last year with my green blue to go husband. She would cry about not being involved enough. This wasn't the mother-daughter experience she always dreamed of. Even worse, literally said that I was not the perfect daughter she wanted. On top of that, she has unprocessed huge triggers around men and money. She has been through a lot. Her triggers are so intense that it completely fractured her perception of my now husband. She feels he is taking me away from her and taking her money. We have been together for 5 years, so she knew him well, always loved him. So we did a prenup. She was still not pleased. The wedding day came and she could not have been more obviously unhappy. It was the most selfish display of her energy. Normally, I would have been fawning for her to be happy with me, but on this day, I knew she was in the wrong. It should have been my day, my moment, and for once, she should have focused on my emotional needs. She is an energy vampire, and I believe she is a victim blue. Having done a lot of healing and reparenting for myself, I can see her now as a small wounded child who did not get her needs met, never learned how to regulate her emotions, and never processed her trauma. I'm on a serious mission to break my family's generational mother wound. It is a lot of responsibility, but I feel empowered by spirit that I can be the one to create generational healing. Wow.
Well, okay.
So
All right, and then this is the picture of Camille. Is that the mom?
So the mom's in the blue, and Camille's obviously in the wedding dress, and that's her husband.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want to go first? Do you want to do what do you think, Scott? Give us your red-blue take.
Oh gosh. Well, from the picture, I'm just looking at the picture.
Yeah.
And like, first of all, how much money does his mom have? Like she right? She's claiming that she's unhappy. She made the husband sign a prenup.
Yeah.
That was the mom that did that?
I guess so. Well, made her daughter sign a prenup with her husband.
Yeah, I'm not understanding that part.
Yeah.
But in this picture, she does look very, and this is just a cold read.
Yeah.
Dominant.
Yes.
She looks very dominant.
Yeah.
It's like she's like right in there.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like, again, this is just me cold reading this photo.
Yeah.
Like, she's the boss.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to be the boss.
Yeah.
She's the boss. I don't know if this guy listens to her a little bit. Like, I mean, maybe she might even use him a little bit to get to the daughter.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what again, just cold reading the picture. But she looks like, almost like, I thought it was his mom at first, actually.
Wow, that's an interesting psychic tell on that one.
Okay. I mean, the couple looks very nice.
Yeah.
And the mom, she does seem like a very tough energy.
Well, I've got lots to say.
Okay, let's hear this reading.
I got lots to say. All and right. I'm going to do this like if I were talking to Camille on the phone, it was just me and you. Okay.
And this picture's up in the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family for everyone to see.
So, Camille, you're indigo purple. And honestly, in this picture, your indigo is really big, but you definitely take a step back energetically when your mom's around. It is kind of like, I'll dim my light so you can be more special. I'll even let you use my husband for your own needs to make you feel more special. And her husband, and she's, with Camille, she's mothering her mother. Like, this lady had a kid to be her mom. And I feel like Camille has juggled that and juggled that and juggled that, but it's just too much energetically for her now. And I feel like what happened was Camille has gotten this life that the mom wanted. It is really confusing when I pick up jealousy on a mom towards her daughter, but it happens. And it's not something I personally relate to, but it is something I pick up on people sometimes. And she feels very jealous, and not just jealous, just kind of like angry at the universe. Like, why didn't I get that? Or I sacrificed everything so you could get that. Now recognize it, instead of just being okay with the way abundance worked out for her daughter and seeing like, oh, okay, like what happened to her is good, means I did good. She just wants a piece of it. The mom has a very purple aura, and she's really intuitive, and it's really strong, and it's very messy, and it's the kind of purple I'll get when it's anything she picks up, she uses for manipulation tactics. So if she knows that you're having a fight with him, or she knows you're having a moment, or she knows you're feeling weak, or she knows you're being quiet, or she knows whatever it is, she'll pick it up immediately, and then using her power as a mother, wield it against you or try to make wedges in your relationship with your husband and stuff like that. So I think you already knew that. So it's just stuff to understand. When I look at Camille, your husband, he is so sweet. He's like so blue to go. I can see and he's green too. So I can see with him, but the mom knows how to manipulate him.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Mom knows how to manipulate him. Mom knows to be like, oh, well, can you help me with this? Can you help me? I have this problem. Can you give me advice? And then he's green and he's blue to go, right? So he likes to be helpful and he gives great advice. So he's like, yeah, X, Y, Z, do. Oh, actually, I was thinking more like this. So I feel like she draws him in, hook, line, sinker, and then manipulates him that way. And I think he allows this to happen only because he knows, that's Camille's mom and they're close. And he can kind of look at it from more kind of like a far away perspective. He doesn't get so involved. He's like, that's between them and I'll just be support system for her, whatever, like that, keep the peace. But it's something that I feel like if the mom's not, because Camille can kind of indighost, I think, a little bit lately, even indighost in person, meaning Camille, like you're there, but you can kind of like gray rocket or get more distant. Mom can pick up on that and guess who she's going for. She's going for your husband.
Right.
So be careful of that because she'll try to get him now. And I feel like she's really good with flattery and she's really good with looking vulnerable and like, I need a white knight, oh, you're my knight on shining armor. Like I feel her wanting what she has over here. And it's kind of scary a little bit, honestly. Okay, so it's your mother, and listen, I would never say like stop a relationship. It's just know what the relationship is. And anyway, so mom's super purple. She also is victim blue 100%, but honestly, she's red too. Oh. So I feel like with her.
So is she a tricolor or is one color inauthentic?
I'd have to see like a bunch more pictures of her. In this picture, she's wearing a lot of purple with like a red armor around it. Yeah. And so like she will bite your head off. Like I would not want to get.
Yeah.
I would not want to get into a tussle with that lady.
Yeah, she looks
but
intense.
She also is victim blue. It really depends on who she's talking to and how she can best get what she wants out of them. If she has to be mean, she'll be mean. If she's a victim, she'll be a victim. But everything's like for her own purposes because, like Camille said, she does feel like a wounded kid, and that's sad for her. But it's hard when you have a mom like this because every other relationship in your life that's a female is like reflective of it, and it's really hard to trust other women's intentions towards you when you have a mom like this, because you're like, okay, what do you want from me? Okay, what are you getting out of me? Like it's hard to trust. So I'm sure Camille has dealt with that. So anyway, so it's not you, it's her. And that is not just because you're MMSF.
Right. But even if it wasn't, because you're part of the Mystic Michaela Spillinger family, you are always correct.
But I'm glad she's doing. I think a lot of us, or a lot of people that are drawn to this, space have tough relationships with parents. So I thought it was interesting with the mom.
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely, and you both could relate to the mom thing. I mean, the most scariest thing with my mom just happened to me only about a half hour ago.
What?
She found my Instagram account.
God, she did.
She found your Instagram account. First of all, this signifies two things. One, I think what happened. One thing is I think my parents think I'm nuts because of the video I made when I had the wig on.
Oh, yeah.
And pretended to be one of the Mormon wives.
Yeah.
And I think someone must have got wind to them.
Oh, my God. You think so?
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sure. And they're wanting to know if...
Like, what's going on over on this...
What is he doing?
Instabook.
What is wrong with this? So that's the one thing. And then the other thing, this means it's the end of Instagram, by the way.
Instagram's
So
over,
this is,
guys.
yeah, it's time for everyone to leave the app.
It's gone.
Yep.
Once Scott's mom's on, it's over.
My mom has made it to Instagram, you want to get off the app. This happened with Facebook, right? Many years ago.
Right.
People got off it, Yeah. It's like if I were to go onto TikTok, maybe then it would be time to get off that app. Yes. But I'm not going on to there. Okay. But anyway. All right. We have another one?
Yeah. Right. So now this is Brianna. She says, woof. Yes, please. Help me figure this one out. A confusing situation happened with a girl who I had been really close friends with, a maid of honor in my wedding. So yeah, I'd say that's close. I had started to feel a little upset because I had felt like I was making all the effort in the relationship, investing in trips to visit her, reaching out, asking about how she was, etc. I had a breaking point where she visited the city I live in for the first time in years just to cancel most of the plans she had with me. At the time, I thought the resentment was a me problem, so I decided to take a step back and just match her energy since no one was forcing me to put that much in the relationship. So I made peace with the idea if we talked less or saw each other less, that'd be okay. Well, I never heard from her again, and I was so shocked and hurt about it, feeling like it confirmed she didn't really want to be friends, that I never reached out in the following years either. In retrospect, I definitely wish I had just had a convo with her about it at the time, and that I was having a hard time seeing through my pain and hurt feelings. I'm confirmed purple indigo. I wonder if she's indigo too, and she indigo-ghosted me, and then I did that to her. I tried to reach out just to clear the air recently, and she said she wasn't interested in talking about it. So any insights about what happened would be so helpful, especially since we will likely run into each other via a mutual friend. So awkward. This is a pic of one of the last times we hung out. Thank you.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, like I said, Miss Michaela's family, correct. Her name spelled the right way, Brianna, one of my favorite names. So she's right.
So you're just right.
You're right. You spelled Brianna the correct way.
Right.
That's the way we spell our Brianna's
And you're
name.
in the family, so we take your side.
Yeah. I mean, I would, from looking at the picture, I mean, I would definitely say that girl is indigo, the friend.
Yeah.
Am I right on that?
Yeah, she looks indigo.
Yeah, she looks real indigo
too.
Yeah. So it could be a lot of indigoing going on here.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I picked this one because as an indigo myself, but one who's matured, I feel like I used to do this to people, honestly. Like, I feel like I used to be like, oh, oops. Like, I forgot to call. I forgot to make friends. I forgot to put in effort. Like, really just, and then over time, like, the space gets so big, you don't know how to come back to it. But now as I've matured as an indigo, I'll just tell people like, oh, sorry, I spaced out for a while. I'm here, or just reach out 3 times. I promise I'll get you eventually. So it's annoying when you're indigo. And I think when we're all indigos and we just hear that story, we're all like, ooh, that's me. I've done that. So, but looking at her friend, I feel like with her, she feels to me like very overwhelmed by friendships that require effort. And when you're not in the same city or, maybe I think just looking at Brianna, she's an exciting friend. She's like, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's have fun. I'm purple, like that. And I'm indigo, but I'm purple, so she's like, let's do this. Let's have a plan. And I'm sure Brianna is also the type of person that's like, let's sit at home and I'll come to your house. Let's just watch a movie, like whatever. I feel like this girl, just looking at her, she's really bad at effort. Like she's really somebody who goes into herself, into her work, into her life, and puts up like kind of a yellow wall around her a little bit with the indigo, and then just kind of pieced out. And now she doesn't want to confront it. She doesn't want to talk about it. It's hard. In that book, The 4 Agreements, they say nothing is personal. It's one of the agreements. And it's true. Nothing is personal because everybody lives in their own reality. It's hard not to take things personal, though, when they happen to you. This feels like one of those things where it's not personal, but at the same time, I think she was just reacting to Brianna's like amazing energy and how excited she was to hang out and let's do this and let's do that. And I feel like she just kind of was like, oh, I can't, and just retreated into her own self and then refuses to own that. That's what I get about it.
Yeah, that makes,
I think they just sense. Aren't an energy match.
Okay. Maybe just too much indigo. A lot of indigo.
It is really hard for indigos to be friends. Like we can do it. Yeah. But it's kind of like 2 turtles being friends. Like think about it. Right. Like when you see 2 turtles, it's like one has their head out. Like
how do you their head back in?
How do you alert the other one? Like, hey, I'm out.
Right.
And they're in.
They're in, out, in.
Yeah, and then you go in, and then the other one's like out, and they're like, oh, all right.
And then like one, like with the feelings things could get a lot in the way too, right?
Sometimes it's like, did I hurt your feelings? Was I too much? Were you too much? Right. Am I too much? Do you like that? Do you want to do this? It's so much effort. That's why usually indigos tend to be. That's why I'm always friends with yellows. Because it's like, they're like, we're doing this at this time. I'm like, thank God.
Right. Because the other indigo, you want that indigo to make the decision or the move or whatever. And they don't.
By the way, Brianna seems like the type that would.
Yeah.
Well,
we know her. She came to the
we know Brianna. And
a couple times.
She's very friendly and very like effusive and very like, oh, let me do this for you. Let me make the first move like all the time. So I think this girl just couldn't handle the energy. She just couldn't handle putting any effort in.
Like she couldn't handle the purple part.
She probably can't handle the purple part. And she probably just can't. To me, she just seems like she just zones out, pieces out, turtles out.
Okay.
Turtle out. That's what she did.
Yeah.
She just went into her shell.
Because even in the body language of the first photo, which you could look at, like she's kind of like behind her, on her shoulder, kind of more like a submissive position.
Okay, you're doing body language.
Yeah, I'm just doing kind of cold reading. Cold reading, yeah.
Yeah, to me, she just feels like she, I don't know, doesn't want to put as much effort into explaining her behavior as other people do. Okay. She might not. It's like indigo when you don't know you're an indigo.
Okay.
So, all
right. Yeah. Looks like she graduated from something. So
cold read is she's smart.
She graduated.
I love cold reads.
All right. Let's take a quick break. Okay. We'll do some more.
My 3 cats are my fur babies. And Dusty is my older guy. So I always worry about him, making sure that he eats and he's liking what he's eating and he's hydrated. So much easier with our next sponsor. This podcast is sponsored by Smalls. If you're a listener of this show, you know that my cats cannot live without their Smalls. To get 35% off plus an additional 50% off your first order, head to smalls.com and use our promo code KYA for a limited time only. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients you'd find in your fridge, and it's delivered right to your door. That's why Cats.com named Smalls their best overall cat food. Dusty, like I said, is my senior guy. So I'm a little on top of his eating rather than the other 2. And Smalls is perfect for him because it has all the nutrition he needs and he loves it. I also started putting a little topper on it, their bird broth. It has that added hydration and it also appeals to him. the bird broth topper is popular with my other 2 cats too. And it's a great way to transition any cat to smalls. They love the toppers. What are you waiting for? Give your cat the food they deserve. For a limited time only, because you are a Know Your Aura listener, you can get 35% off smalls plus an additional 50% off your first order by using my code KYA. That's an additional 50% off when you head to smalls.com and use promo code KYA. Again, that's promo code KYA for an additional 50% off your first order plus free shipping at smalls.com. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
Okay, we have a really intense one from Tatiana. You guys ready for this one?
Ready.
All right. Hi, MMSF. I am quick confirmed yellow, blue, purple, and I have a very difficult relationship with my mother-in-law. She's very toxic, and I'm not sure of her aura colors, but I feel she's definitely got some victim blue going on in her aura. She did have a difficult death like 30 years ago, her first husband. That she never processed, so I've always kept that in the back of my mind to help myself be compassionate towards her. I'm going to stop everyone right here, just for a minute, just like Mystic Michaela's thought about this. Because I do it too. It's kind of like seeing the good,
Yeah.
so that you can deal with people. It's like, oh, this trauma happened to them, or, oh, they're this broken inner child, or, oh, whatever. Like, we get that. But I swear, some of these people stick that in their back pocket and just overuse it. They overuse it. All right, back to it.
I mean, that's a long time to use it. That's 30 years.
Yeah. It's sad, and I get it, and it sounds awful, of course. Right. But, you should, the people, I read so many people that have been through so much crap, and they do not use that as some sort of get-out-of-jail-free card when it comes to their attitude.
Right.
Anyways, just had to add that. We have to watch giving excuses to people because they're traumatized inside. Okay, but I get it. So back to Tatiana. She said, I've been with my husband for 11 years now, and I have one simple rule. Don't speak about religion and politics because we are polar opposites, and I'm very spiritual, and she's not a fan of that.
Okay, so mother-in-law and her are on 2 different ends of the political spectrum, and religion. Okay.
Right. The issues have always been that she tries to control my faith, how I vote, and wants my husband to always put her needs above his family. But we have 2 small children, and that's just not something we will allow. My husband and I have gone to therapy over this because it nearly destroyed our marriage. And now he's finally setting boundaries with her, but she doesn't back down. We don't see her often, but I can literally feel her energy when she's angry at me. She gets angry because I choose to live my life differently than hers, and her son has started seeing her true colors, and he's been healing and no longer makes excuses for her. I did try to help her heal for years, but you can't help someone that doesn't want to heal. I want to say that she will purposely tell my husband and I different things to try to get us to argue. She will try and use our children against us. She tells me what religion I should be and what church to go to, what to eat sometimes, and how I should vote. Of course, I don't do what she says, and I am to the point that we barely speak. But my husband doesn't want to cut her off. I get it. It's his mom, but she's also a narcissist. So there's not really a way to have a healthy relationship with her. I can feel that she hates me, but also think it's because I have a life that she always wanted and never had. Instead of joining in on the fun, she tries to control it and bring us down to her low vibration. This has been a long post. And then she tells us. So here's a picture that I accidentally took of her when I didn't know she was looking at me. And you guys can all look at that in the thread. She said she didn't even know it was on her phone, and then she saw it and it gave her chills. And it is a creepy kind of photo. Honestly curious what you all have to say. Also, she wants to add that we are raising a wonderful 6-year-old autistic son and a very sassy, probably purple, 3-year-old daughter. And I adore my children, but it takes more effort in raising my autistic son because life is more than just dropping him off at school. There's therapies and lots more going on into setting him up for success every day. And she has no interest in learning to understand his needs, but also wants to control how we raise our kids and totally gaslights us constantly with all these outdated and uneducated remarks about autism. And I just don't like having her around my son to hear all this. I believe that our words hold power and how far our children will go because we are their inner voice when they are little. And I like to focus on building confidence and teaching him how to accommodate his needs so that he can live his best life, how he chooses later in life. Wow. Tatiana, you're dealing with a lot, man.
Well, Tatiana said something about how she could feel her energy when she's angry at her. And I'm looking at this photo, and I feel like she might be angry at me right now.
She's got strong energy.
She's got some energy.
Yeah.
And she looks like she could look, I mean, just from this photo.
Yeah.
She looks like she can look through you and see like your insides.
Yeah.
Like that's how scary this photo is.
Yeah. She likes to power.
Yeah.
She's on a power trip. Which makes me nervous to have her around the kids.
Yeah.
Because people like that love to make others submissive and make others small so they feel big. And kids are perfect for that. You know, they're perfect because they're just moldable and they'll fall into that trap. But Tatiana seems like an amazing mom. So Tatiana gave me a picture of herself.
Okay.
And I love Tatiana's energy because immediately, you know, she's tricolor, but immediately like you see her purple, but there's like this yellow kind of bubble around it. And it's just like, I will be nice and I will be understanding and I will be polite, but you will not mess with me and you definitely will not mess with my children. And this is an energy I feel like her mother-in-law is trying actively to break and hasn't been able to. Like Tatiana has this inner light, this inner attachment to source. She has got a confidence in herself and she shines outward and she does not need other people's approval. And all these things trigger mother-in-law because mom-in-law needs others' approval. Mom-in-law lived her whole life feeling kicked by society. So now she's just absorbed that and trying to use societal ideations to kick you and kick your kids. And it's not working because Tatiana lives outside of those restraints. And right there, that's where the problem is. Like the mom-in-law can't use the same stuff that she felt oppressed by to go oppress her daughter-in-law and her son-in-law, her son. So when I look at the mom-in-law's picture, it's hard to tell, honestly, what color she is, like energetically speaking. I don't normally say stuff like this because I'm a pretty normal person, crazy lady psychic. But this lady has some wackadoo purple energy that's really dark and feels attached to darkness. Ooh. So this is the type of person that can really send out negative energy. And it can manifest in illness or sickness or like, I don't feel good, or like, you know, something with the kids, like, well, what happened? You know, it's so weird. Like she was we were supposed to do this and then, you know, my son got sick or like weird stuff like that. And normally I don't say stuff like that. Never. But like, this is the type of person, like I'm immediately like knee jerk reaction, like do not know me like that. Like just don't be around me. Do not know me. And after you leave my house, like I'm doing all the things.
All the saging.
I'm putting salt around. I'm pulling out my Catholic stuff. Yeah. I'm going all in. Like it's just the energy is really strong and pervasive and angry. She also has like an I told you so yellow vibe, but I don't think she is yellow. It's just like there. That just means that, you know, whatever she thinks is real and there's no talking to her. And she also has major victim blue. But that feels like she knows how to use it. She knows how to, again, she's kind of like talking about that other mom before. She knows how to wield it. You know, they know how to kind of fall back on, but I'm your mother, you know, but I'm their grandmother. It's like, they don't care. You know, they just want power. So I feel like with her, not that you need validation, Tatiana, but yeah. Like, and I'll one up you there and say, I would even be even more careful. You know, I wouldn't blame you if you were just like, I'd see you twice a year, you know, like that. It's just hard. It's hard. And I totally get what she's saying about the kids, because when they're little like that, you're responsible for their vibrations too and their energy too. So it's not just you watching maybe what they're hearing, it's watching what they're feeling and what they're picking up. And,
I wonder what colors. She didn't put in a picture of the son.
No, she didn't.
Or, you know, her husband. I mean,
yeah, or her husband. Yeah, she didn't do that.
Okay, I wonder what colors he'd be.
He sounds like he could be green blue.
Or something.
Yeah, or blue purple, or maybe like green blue. He seems like a green blue husband problem sometimes when it's like, thank God you met me, because now I can tell you that your family's a little wackadoo, you know, which is, I think Tatiana's like, hey, buddy. Like, yeah. I'll tell you, I'll get the therapist to tell you. And now all of a sudden it's like lights are on and he's like, holy cow. So it's hard it's hard when you're in a relationship with somebody and you have to tell them their family's not normal because it's a fairy tale they've been hanging on to for survival, and you're the one saying it's not real.
Yeah.
So sometimes they can go after you first because they're like, but I want to believe in the fairy tale. But then they say they sit with it eventually and they're like, oh, okay, it was all. But then they have to process, like, was everything fake? Like, was I loved? Like, was I cared for? Like, what? I just have been weaving a different folk tale of my life this entire time. And that can be hard to kind of tell a partner that's what's been happening.
Yeah. Speaking of fairy tale, that mom is like, she reminds me of the you're
Mother
probably Mother from Rapunzel's mom.
Mother knows best.
Yeah, and she just wants to keep she wants to keep the husband in that little
Listen
tower.
to your mumsy.
Yeah, then she like goes, just keeps him up in the tower or something.
I love that movie. That's like Mother Gothel is like the narcissist, like any narcissist like any narcissist mom or mom-in-law is like Mother Gothel.
Yeah. I would like to see a match between this mom and Camille's mom. Like who? That would be
Camille's mom wins.
Camille's mom wins?
Hands down.
Yeah?
Hands down.
Like are you talking energetically or are you talking with fists?
You would even be on Camille's mom's side for this one.
Okay. No, I mean who wins an energetic fight and then who wins a physical fight?
Oh, no, I feel like Camille's mom would win it all.
All wins it all.
Yeah,
takes it all.
yeah. Like this mom-in-law actually, like Tatiana's not wrong. Like this one, not that Camille's mom didn't go through a lot. Like she definitely feels like men wronged that woman.
Right.
Like, and she's been screwed over, like for real, of course. But this one feels just kind of like sad and weak and childlike. Okay. And then Camille's mom feels like more like an older kid that can really like pop your nose on the playground. Okay.
But this one then, all right, so then Camille's mom wins the fight.
Yeah.
The energetic fight, we'll say. Yeah. Up front, but then this one goes behind the scenes, puts a weird energy spell on her.
Like she's a little sneaky.
Yeah, Camille's mom goes down later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like food poisoning.
You kind of like a Mother Gothel scheme.
Yes.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like, she does something like a trickster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And honestly, between the two, like if I wanted to deal with one, I'd rather deal with Camille's mom. Be honest with you. Okay. Because I think like Camille's mom does have it. This is funny. We're like pitting the difficult people against each other.
Yeah. Difficult versus difficult.
Yeah. I feel like Camille's mom's the type like where, I don't know, like if there's a drama going on jointly, like she's got your back. It's just you never want her to lose an outside drama because then she'll go after you.
Okay.
But this mom never lets it go. Like Tatiana's mom-in-law.
It's been 30 years.
Yeah, she's just like, it's solely you. She's got her sights set on.
Oh my gosh. All right. Next up is Morgan.
Oh, we got Morgan. And I thought this was good because it was like a work one, Okay. I'm only a week into my new boss, AKA she named her boss Bad Boss, okay? Am I struggling. I think even Scotty would go on a red rant for me here. And I'm yellow, green, turquoise. I did write this in his voice because his rant voice cracks me up.
Yeah.
So she's writing it in your voice.
Okay. Thank you, Morgan.
Yes. Bad Boss was already working for the organization I'm at.
I can hear it already.
I do too. In the same department as me, accounting. I won't do that for the whole thing.
Okay.
But we had little to do with one another. The few times I reached out for help, I got zero help. Then out of the blue, the CFO decides to promote her to Director of Fiscal Services.
Boo.
Oh, this sounds so exciting to work there, you guys. For a purple, not really. Anyways, she has zero leadership management skills. This became evident when she first started, but I've tried to be graceful despite that. I actually think that she just hates me. Probably turquoise related. Probably. When she talks to the whole team and I speak up, she doesn't acknowledge I've spoken. She doesn't even turn her head or body towards me. When I directly ask her questions, I get one-word answers. When she's told me to do something she knows I don't know how to do, I'm totally new to accounting, but still the accounting manager, she doesn't offer help. She even ignored my email asking for a one-on-one. I don't put up with mean girl stuff well, so I marched myself into her office and asked if she had seen my email. She only replied, "Yes, I saw it." That's it. I then had to ask when it was a good time to meet. We have operational processes to review. I want to be sure we are on the same page. I have an MBA with a concentration in leadership. She's doing everything my education told me not to do. Harvard Business Review would lose their minds. I'm trying super hard to be kind and think maybe she's indigo and very introverted. My friend thinks she's an unbalanced and inauthentic yellow. I even looked up the color psychology wheel and wore blue and white all week to help invoke calmness and a feeling of trust.
Wow.
No luck. I've also carried citrine, obsidian, and tiger's eye to balance the energy with cedar wood in my office diffuser to ground. Also, no luck. I'm truly at a loss. Unfortunately, the organization I'm at has a history of putting people in leadership roles when they shouldn't be at all and just leaving them there despite all the inefficiencies it causes. Yellow Green cringes at this. So I think I'm stuck with her. Please help.
Okay. Well,
this was good. This was
help
so good.
is here. Definitely turquoise, right? Morgan's definitely turquoise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, this is what I think.
Yeah.
This new CFO lady person.
Director of Fiscal Services.
Director of Fiscal Services, whatever that means. Okay. She doesn't know what she's doing.
No.
She has no clue what she is doing.
Right, which is what Morgan said, yeah.
Yes. And then what she's doing is putting it on the onus on the other people.
Yes.
Okay, so like I witnessed this one time when your dad was trying to teach your sister, I think it was ninth grade math or eighth grade math. And she was asking him for help.
Right.
Your sister was asking your dad for help. And then your dad will say, like, well, you do it first. And she'd give him the problem and say, well, Dad, no, I need help. Can you tell me how to do this? He's like, well, you do it. And then, I'll show you. You do it first, though. So, so he obviously, and I was watching this whole thing play out.
Yes.
And I realized, your dad has no idea how to do these problems.
Right.
So he was just kind of putting it all on to, your sister, Emily, his daughter. So I think the same thing's happening here.
Yes.
Like this lady has no idea what she's doing.
Yeah.
Morgan, you know what you're doing. I mean, of course you know what you're doing. You're MMSF.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
And that's what I think's happening. That's my take.
I agree. So looking at Bad Boss, because she has, it's a crappy little photo, but it's what we got and it's fine. But in this little crappy photo, this lady looks, everyone's going to, major shock moment. Prepare everyone's jaws to drop.
Okay.
She's purple blue. And she's wearing an authentic yellow. So there's nothing worse than somebody who tries to and it's just what you said, just an aura color, by the way. There's nothing worse than somebody who tries to manage or be in charge when they're super insecure about it and cannot admit it. Just admit it. Just say, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm figuring it out. Let me get back to you. Ooh, I just got in here. Let me see what they did. Do you know what they used to do? Let me reach out for help. So much better when somebody who doesn't know what they're doing just is like honest about it. It actually makes you look more secure. Having said that, most people don't know that. So they turn into these like insecure, like kind of catty energies that try to make you feel crazy instead. And she's projecting a lot of her insecurity onto Morgan. Now, here's Morgan's part. Morgan's turquoise. Morgan's turquoise totally knows the Bad Boss is insecure.
Right.
So Morgan's turquoise is like, I'm going to write you an email. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question in front of the whole group. I'm going to go into your office and ask you another question. I'm going to show you how insecure you are until you admit it. Because subconsciously, that's what I'm trying to do. So Morgan, you can just picture yourself like a walking full-length mirror. And every time Bad Boss looks in it, she sees how incapable she is of doing this job and how stupid she feels and how her inner child is just like crying because this is probably like a pattern in her life. And that's what's going on. Okay. But then the other part is Morgan's also like green and yellow. So she's probably like, oh my God, like the inefficiency is stressing her out. That's the other thing. Okay.
So like when the boss looks at Morgan, which she tries not to do, she's actually, it's a mirror.
Yeah.
And she sees it back.
She's trying to ignore you. She's trying to not look in the mirror.
Right.
But you're like a mirror that follows her.
Right. The mirror is just following her, bringing the crystals.
And your turquoise is like, I must heal you. But you know what, Morgan? My advice for you is don't heal her.
Yeah.
Find answers to your own questions. I know you can because you're smart. Yeah. Don't worry about like, just let her she'll mess up herself and reveal herself to everybody. And if you can, I would just try to like circumnavigate her as much as possible. But she's never going to acknowledge you because then she has to acknowledge that she is very insecure, which is probably something that's very hard for her to do. And that's not your job to make her understand that about herself. That does nothing for you. So you just let it go. It's hard when you're a turquoise and you don't know you're trying to heal somebody. But now you do, and you have a choice. You don't have to do that. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Morgan.
You're triggering her.
Yeah. Actually, and you know what? This one triggered me the most too. Because I did.
Really?
Yeah, well, I kind of ranty now. maybe it's towards the end, so I'm a little more ranty. But yes, Morgan, I'm glad you used my voice and chatteled me when you wrote this.
Yeah, I like Morgan though, because I feel like I don't know, like I feel like you could work with Morgan and she'd be telling you all these things, and you'd be like, yeah, I know, but I don't know, like this lady, bad boss, I think is gonna fall apart herself.
Yeah, and Morgan came to the event. I don't know if it was it last year or the year before. Came to one of the events in Florida.
Morgan.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Little housekeeping. Very exciting.
Yes.
I'm not exactly, when does this come out? I'm not sure of the date, but I think it's right around the date of your new book.
Yay.
The Book of Signs.
Yes.
By Mystic Michaela. This is your fourth book with Simon & Schuster. And then the cards, of course. But very excited about this one.
So excited.
So cool. Reminds me a little bit of Angel Numbers book when you did that. You could, again, it might be ready to go when this airs. I don't know the exact date. I think June 17th.
June 17th it comes out.
So if you see it or you feel like going on Amazon or SimonandSchuster.com or wherever you buy your books.
There it'll be. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm so appreciative for the group.
Yeah.
I'm so appreciative for all of you. You're so supportive and you're so inspirational. And I feel compelled to put more out there that reaches people and helps them to be empowered in seeing their own signs and understanding what they mean and describing them and taking power and ownership over them, which is what this book's about.
Okay, excellent. And then also next month, after we get back from the Grand Tetons.
Yes.
What? Who named it? French? Was it the French?
Yes. So French. Yes. Yeah. You want my language lesson?
You want to be the historian today?
You guys were like the Grand Tetons, and everyone kept saying it. I'm like, hey, do you know what Tetons means in French? And then nobody believed me.
Right.
And Tetons mean, I don't know how to say it on here without getting explicit.
Jumanji.
Well,
no? I haven't said Jumanji in a while.
They're the French word for women's chest.
Okay.
You know, in case kids are listening.
Yeah, right.
That's what they mean.
Well, that's why I said two
But
Jumanjis.
none of you believe me. None of you believe me until everybody went on, the translate.
Well, because it's like, what silly, I'm assuming a man named this?
Yeah, a bunch of French explorers did.
I'm like, what silly guys would be like, they saw the two mountains and like, Grand Tetons.
They named them I'm going to mess up the French. Les Trois Tétons.
Oh.
The three, you-know-whats.
Oh, there's three.
I guess.
It's like that
That's
one.
What three means.
What was that movie with what had three? Total Recall?
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The original.
The original, yeah. But anyway, we'll get back. We're also doing segue into part 2 of the Aura workshop.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The second time we're running it. There's a few spots left for that. It's just, if you want to know the swirls and the shades and the textures and translucent and what all the other terms of your aura.
Yes.
This is the workshop for you. It's all about you. It's basically what, three pictures, 3 times in your life.
Yeah, it's 3. Yes, it's 3 photos that you'll submit, and we talk about your aura now, your aura in a relationship, and then your aura during a time of transformation. So it's just a major, this is Aura 2.0. If you really understand the aura stuff, you've read the book or you've taken other workshops and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to understand the nuances of me. This is it.
Yeah. Or listen to every single episode of this podcast.
Yeah.
Twice.
Right.
Okay. So, and we got that coming. That's in July.
Yes.
In July. So
what else was there?
I don't know. There's probably other stuff, but I forget now.
Hanging around.
I got to go clean out the rest of my closet.
You got to go water that sod.
Yep. Actually, I do have to get some of those seeds off one of the tree before we go.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go do house projects. I'm going to go gather passports to go to Colorado. This podcast is for you and about you, and we're so glad you spent some time with us today.